Just something about that day. It just happened too quick.
First tonight, a co-worker speaking out on the shocking moments that led up to the death of a young contractor working at Club Car. Now it plays over and over in her mind.
It could have been avoided.
Around 9:45 p.m. on March 8th, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office received a frantic call regarding an accident involving an employee. They responded to a plant in Evans, Georgia, a suburb of Augusta, used by a company called Club Car, a golf cart company which makes golf carts and other commercial utility vehicles. Upon arrival, they will find a chaotic scene and a gruesome discovery.
First at midday, new details about the deadly industrial incident at Club Car that ended in the death of a 21-year-old contractor.
The victim was identified as 21-year-old line worker Alyssa Drinkard, who was rushed to Doctors Hospital in critical condition after emergency personnel performed life-saving measures. According to an incident report, a friend and co-worker who was working directly across from Alyssa told investigators that Alyssa dropped her Airpod below the conveyor belt during her work shift. She said she told Alyssa that she would get the Airpod for her once it was safe to do so. Initially, Alyssa agreed, stating that she would simply get a new pair of AirPods. However, just seconds later, the coworker looked down and saw a horrifying scene. Alyssa's arm was trapped inside one of the chains that helped to move the conveyor belt. It was bent and there was a significant amount of blood. Alyssa's head was also stuck between two metal bars under the conveyor belt, where her neck pinned against the lower bars. Her friend pressed the emergency stop button, but the machine didn't completely stop. Multiple employees attempted to get her out, but due to the way she was trapped, they were unsuccessful. Coworkers rushed to call for maintenance to come and shut the machine down. 911 was then called as maintenance began taking the machine apart once it was shut down, with first responders having to cut through a metal frame to get Alyssa out. Alyssa still had a pulse when she was freed from the machine, and emergency personnel performed life-saving measures on her before she was hospitalized. Sadly, Alyssa would succumb to her injuries the following morning. 21-year-old Alyssa Drinkard was described as being a sweet girl who could always be seen smiling. She worked at the plant for roughly 1 year and was quiet but well-liked by other line workers. According to her friend and coworker, she was invited to go out with colleagues and would only sometimes show up, but when she did, her presence was always noticed. Alyssa's coworker and friend says she is traumatized from the incident. She just can't get the images out of her head. In fact, she knew from working in that particular area of the factory that the side emergency stop buttons didn't work, only the front one. She hasn't returned to work since, as she fears for her own safety. What stands out to her the most is how fast everything happened. She still isn't sure if Alyssa even heard her when she told her to wait, but one thing she knows for sure is that she would miss her quiet and sweet friend. According to Club Car's website, the company based in Augusta has been an industry leader in making golf carts for decades. The company says on its website that it makes the official golf cart for the PGA of America, PGA Tour, Tournament Players Club Network, and the European Tour. According to the site, the company was once called one of the country's safest. I'm not sure if this means safest place to work or the safest golf carts. It simply says they were once called one of the country's safest. In a statement, the company said, "First responders were immediately notified, and we thank them for their quick response to provide medical care and transportation to the hospital where the worker unfortunately later passed away. Our sincere condolences and thoughts are with the family, friends, and all impacted by this loss. We are working with authorities and the contractor in an investigation to determine the facts about what led up to the incident."
What stands out to her the most is how fast the accident happened, but the moment that has stayed with her, replaying in her mind, she says over and over.
I can't tell you for the life of me what made her go under there, why she went under there still. I don't know.
Faye Smith says she's been at Club Car for nearly 4 years, and Alyssa Drinkard has been by her side for one of them until last week when a tragic accident took Alyssa's life. Alyssa dropped an Airpod and then went under a running machine, apparently to get it.
She's on her side finishing her bucket. I'm on my side finishing my bucket. And she walked up to me. She said, "Dang it, I just dropped my AirPods." And I said, "Where'd you drop them?" She said, "Well, one fell down there." And she had her other one. She clicked her case and she was like, "Well, I'll just get some more."
Faye says she didn't know that was the last time she would ever speak to Alyssa.
Before I know it, I look up and I'm kind of just like Alyssa. And for the most part, I felt in my spirit something just told me to look down. The only thing I did see was just her arm and her Apple Watch. And just a lot of blood. The blood just was continuously coming.
The Columbia County Coroner's report says Alyssa's head was stuck between two metal bars under the conveyor belt, with her neck pinned against the lower bars. Faye says she did the only thing she knew to do, press the red e-stop button. But she says the machine didn't stop completely.
It terrified me a lot because I still see it. I just hate that we couldn't get to her sooner. I hate that the e-stop buttons weren't working, because I know for a fact, being in the bucket area, the side e-stop buttons don't work. Only the front ones work.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is investigating the accident and company standards for accidents on job sites. The case remains ongoing.